Are you ready to make lasting changes in your life? Imagine reassessing and rebranding and starting anew, starting fresh every 90 days. Breaking things out into incremental steps so that you can achieve the life you want with the personal growth that you want, the business that you want, and the career changes and wealth building changes and growth that you want. Well, stick around because we are going to talk about just that. And before we get into that, please hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that every time I post a video pertaining to your financial journey and your wealth building journey, you'll receive it right away. Hello there, I am Shehara Wooten. I'm a certified financial planner professional and I help STEM professionals build wealth. I specifically help ambitious Black women STEM professionals who are feeling frustrated. They feel stuck, they feel paralyzed, maybe like they don't know what they don't know, or that have experienced the reality check of having a late start and wanting to catch up. I help you develop a plan so that you don't have to rely on anyone for your financial freedom and security, and you can live the life you've imagined and make the contributions that matter most to you. I'm excited to talk about how you can reassess, rebrand your life every 90 days and be able to take this journey in bite-sized chunks. The first thing I want to talk about is to start with reflection. It is really important to take the time to write down your vision. You know how it says in the Bible, write the vision, make it plain. Talk about what you've done and what you want to accomplish. Think about it that way. So write down just as many details as you possibly can think of. Sometimes I have people go out to their older self, so age 70, age 90, whatever that is, and then look back over your life as if you're reflecting on the things that you've accomplished, and that can give you an idea and an indicator of the things that you believe are possible for your life. The next thing I want you to do is to break it down into small steps. It's nothing like having a huge goal and then seeing it and it's like, okay, that is way too big. I'm not even gonna try, right? So we don't wanna impede progress. We want to promote the progress that you wanna make. And the best way to do that is to be strategic by breaking it down in this bite-sized chunks. So take a moment to do that as well. Next, I want you to take and use these things that I just shared and create what I would call an imagine list. List out all the things that you imagine, pull it from the reflection that you've done, pull it from the things that you want to break out into those bite-sized chunks, pull it from those different areas and just give yourself the freedom to dream, to envision, and put it in a list format. I like to call it the imagine list. Now that you've done those things, go ahead and use my SMARTY Possibilities framework. If you've been around, right, and you've heard of the SMART goals acronym. And what I've done is remixed it. I now call it SMARTY Possibilities. I wrote about it in my book, and I love to have you take and make your goal specific. You know, all those possibilities, all the things that you've imagined. Start to break it out into those bite-sized chunks and then make them SMARTY. So make it specific, make it measurable. If it's a trip you want to take or if you want to make work optional, find out how much all those things are going to cost you. That's the measure. The A stands for attainable. I also like to equate that to winnable, which means that we can win. You know, it's something I know I can accomplish and that you're excited to do. The R is going to stand for realistic or relevant. So taking the time to make sure that it's something that is realistic, something that you do feel. I feel like it ties in with attainable and winnable. And then T is going to be time bound. So put a date on it. The why is it's your why. And that's going to lead us into this next aspect of things that I want you to do. And that is to ask yourself, why do I want to do this? Why is this so important to me? Ask that question 5 times. Ask why 5 times. By the time you get to that 5th why, you're going to know, you're going to have a really good understanding of what this means to you and why it's so important. And the goal is that it'll give you the motivation, it'll give you the inspiration, it'll be that fuel that you need to keep going even when things get tough. Next you want to celebrate those wins. You want to celebrate along the way. So every 90 days, imagine having yourself a time where you're celebrating, you're acknowledging, you go back to reflecting, and you're like, wow, you know what? I did some good stuff. Because there's difficulty, right, along the way. Anytime you're pursuing something that's worthwhile, there's going to be some moments of difficulty and potentially some doubt that'll creep in. And that's the time that you've got to dig deep, start praying. For me, I start reading my Bible, I talk it over with other people, and I start to think about how can I celebrate, because that is so important. If you haven't yet watched it, I recommend that you watch the How to Celebrate Your Wins Without Spending Money. I think that's a wonderful challenge. You can spend money, right? But what about trying to do it without spending money? That's empowering as well. So now it's your turn. What one thing are you thinking about doing? What is that thing that you're like, okay, I'm going to rebrand, I'm going to reassess everything, and we're going to reset. And this next 90 days, I'm going to take charge and do the things that I want to do. And I would love for you to put that in the comments. So remember, this isn't about being perfect. It's about building on everything that you're working towards. It's about making progress. It's about making that next step, that next move. That's what this is all about. So remember that. Remember, this is all about making progress. And if you can break it down every 90 days, you're gonna see how wonderful the journey has been and how much further you can go. And it's gonna be so encouraging. It's gonna be encouraging for you, but it's also gonna be encouraging for others as well. So if you want to discuss this further, if you want to start to have conversations, I'm open to that. I would love to learn more about how I can support you on this journey, that we can really get you thinking. A lot of people, when they attend a strategy session with me, they realize, wow, this really got me thinking. There were some things that they may not have thought about or considered. And this exercise actually prepares you for the strategy session. So go ahead, use the link in the description if you're ready to have a conversation with me so that we can talk about how I can support you and if you are even a good fit for the Wealth Gap Closers invite-only program. So thanks for watching. Thanks for getting this far. If you found this video to be helpful, please go ahead, give it a thumbs up, like it, as well as take a moment to comment and share it with other Black women in STEM that you think it can help. Please remember to watch these next videos to stay informed and to build your wealth and close that wealth gap. Thank you.